Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jenny Bernard, your host. As always, we really do appreciate you being a part of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community we will talk about it. Again, the news conference has been held and the line has been drawn and the cowards didn't show up. What happened to Paul Young? What happened to Lee Harris? These are cowards that you have in leadership, in my opinion. If you file a lawsuit, if you're man enough to file a lawsuit against the governor and his action as it relates to the National Guard. Why didn't you show up? Why didn't you be a man and look at the man in his face, Lee Harris, Paul Young? Where are you cowards? And this proves to me, and I've already known that we had cowards in leadership, straight from the council to the commission and even in state representatives that we have both Senate and both representatives. Not all, but hey, we have cowards. Because where are you when the governor is not around? And you all talk about what you not going to do. And clearly that the Attorney General came out and just told you point blank. Or we talked to him but we hate that they're not here. Oh, they're going to tell you, the citizen, oh, I disagree with it. So what do? They don't show up. But yet, to me, that's cowardness. That says to me that if I agree with you, I can stand there and look at you in your face and tell you I agree with you. But if I don't agree with you, I'm going to man up. I'm going to be there looking at you in your face that I don't agree with you if that's the circumstance or the situation or my opinion or my action. I can stand and look at you in your face and tell you point blank, Governor, I don't agree with you. Secretary, I don't agree with you. That's what real men do. And that's what real leadership is. But what you got here is a bunch of cowards. And today, by them not being here in this conference, wow, it just showed me the cowardness. They said the numbers was wrong. That the city of Memphis was in better shape before, excuse me, before the National Guard and all the others got here. Well, why didn't you stand there and tell them that's your opinion? You wait until they're gone. The governor's not in town. You wait until the secretary, Washington D.C. and all of them are not in town, and you hoodwink the people of the city of Memphis. You try to tell them you're better off. And there's another thing. Let me tell you about this. All of you 901 folks that's running around here talking about you are in better shape without the National Guard, you disagree with it. I was thinking about something. I've always said this 901 or any nonprofit organization that is in line with Lee Harris, that is in line with Mayor Paul Young, two cowards that happen to be in leadership in this city. 901 and any nonprofit organization, I ask you this question. How much have you been given of taxpayers' dollars to be loyal to these mayors or to stand out and say, and you knowing better than that, people's lives are changing, the city is changing, things are better, but yet you are caught in the middle of getting grants or income, in my opinion, to do what you are doing and to say, excuse me, what you are saying. And that's the bottom line. Today, ladies and gentlemen, if it has not been proven to you, today show that you have cowards in leadership in the county mayor's office, and the city mayor's office. Two cowards. They came up with any and every excuse not to be there and face the people that they talk about when they're not here. When you're there, you do what Paul Young do. You sit back and look like a mannequin in the store window and don't say anything. The governor tells you right in front of your face that since we got here, Memphis is a better place. But you don't say anything, Paul Young. You just sit back like a mannequin in the store window, bucking your eyes and looking real stupid when it comes to leadership. So if you got any doubt or any question about what you got in leadership, do what this individual is doing right here. Think. Just think for a minute. What was he having? Where were Paul Young? What was he? It makes you wonder, where were these cowards? It makes you wonder, all the folks who signed their name on that lawsuit, where were you? If you're woman enough, you're man enough to put your name on the lawsuit and said that the numbers are incorrect as it relates to what the task force is saying, over 3,000 arrests, over 100 and some children returned, over 100 guns, illegal guns, have been taken off the street. Well, you said it hadn't. They said it had. These folks came in your city and basically took over your city and said to you, Paul Young, said to you, Lee Harris, your county, these are the numbers. In other words, in spite of what you and your police, chief of police, C.J. Davis, is saying and trying to make the citizen believe that they're right. But you had an opportunity to stand there and talk to them and disagree with the numbers, but you're too big of a coward to do that. Now, you stood there and said that to us, or to the citizens of Memphis, that, hey, guess what? The numbers are wrong. This is what we're doing. This is where we are when they are not here. You say all of these things, but now, what are you saying? You're saying absolutely nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Memphis, this is your time, and this will be your only time. If you do not get this situation straight when it comes to 2026, if the Lord said the same and we still here, if you don't get it right, then Memphis will be forever lost. It will be in the situation that you will never be able to come out of because they got you. They think for you. See, I think for myself, like the thinker do. I'm man enough to stand up no matter who it is. If I agree, I agree. If I disagree, I disagree. And I can stand there. Not only to tell my people when the governor and the elected officials that in Washington, D.C., that are here and telling you in your face that basically you're lying. You're lying. And then they're saying you talk to uh, them and they told you and you agree with it. But you're too big of a coward to come out and tell the people who put you in office. Now, the people who put you in office have something to live up to. They're going to have to talk about this. And you got to hold them accountable. Ask the question. I'm going to put it on my page here. Topic, my subject today is going to be, where were the two cowards? That's the subject we're talking about today. The two cowards. If you want to talk to me about the two cowards, you can give me a call at area code 901-288-5779. You saw it today. I watched the news conference. And I didn't see the cowards. They talked about the fact that the cowards were not there. Uh, but they did talk to them. They agreed with them with their numbers. But that when they're gone, they tell you something different. And to all of those nonprofits again, tell me you're not getting proceeds or you're not getting funded. And see, that's the thing with black people and black leadership. And I have to say that because I'm black and I can stand here and I can stand anywhere else and call a coward a coward. Basically, that was there. You fail to show up. You fail to stand up and talk about the numbers that you lied about. But they put you on check. They called you coward without calling you coward. They call you liars without calling you liars directly. And you know you lied. And how did you shake and how did you tremble when the people with the real power came in and told you about your city? What did they say? And the people, what did they say? Go into your city, Paul Young, the city that you the leadership. Go into your county, Lee Harris, where you are the outgoing, and thank God for that. You're the outgoing county mayor. They told your county, Paul Young, they told your city the numbers, the true numbers, and the effect. And then not only that, ladies and gentlemen, they said, go ask the citizens of the city of Memphis, how do they feel? We have talked to people. People have came up to us and told us, we thank God for you all being here. The city is safe again. And if you got any eyes or you got ears yourself, you can see and you can hear what is taking place in the city of Memphis. You don't have the speeding up and down the highways of the street like you used to have. Some still do it because some pass me, but they do it when the National Guard or they do it when the highway patrolmen are not there. See, that's what cowards do. And basically, cowards are afraid to do things in the daylight or afraid to do things when people are around that can grab you by the collar, put you under arrest. See, that's what gang members are. And that's why they are called gang. They're not called individuals, they're called gang. And when you are part of a gang, you do things with numbers. But what about you as an individual that terrorizing a city? But where are you now? The individual. 20 and 30 cars breaking into a shoe store. Y'all remember that? Where are they now? Because they see that there's a bigger gang that we call the United States military, the United States Marshal, the FBI, the TBI, all of these people who have became a part and helping in this task force. Where are the cowards who just put all of this violence in your city? Where are they? They're not here because guess what? They see the protection that you have in this city, and they're afraid to come out and do what they've been doing. Now the cowards, as I said, are sitting around trying to circle their wagon and tell you, well, what are we going to do? And see that, listen to what the coward is saying. What are we going to do when they leave Memphis? It's going to go back to being the same thing it was before they got here. Well, that says to me, you acknowledging the fact that it is safe while they're here. And then you say, But when they leave, it's going to go back to what it used to be. That says to me, you're not a leader. That says to me, you're a coward on so many different levels. And I want you to know now, every 901 nonprofit or any other profit that agreeing with Paul Young, Lee Harris, and all of those cowards who signed off on the lawsuit, and the federal government showed them and told them today, by any means necessary and by the power of the federal government, we're going to appeal that. And we're going to go through it from top to bottom when we appeal it. And the governor of the state of Tennessee has the full power of Washington, D.C. behind what he's doing to make the citizens of Memphis feel safer and protected. You all got to wake up. You all got to wake up. If you don't see it, three things today. The coward by the name of Lee Harris, the coward by the name of Paul Young, and the cowards of all the nonprofit organizations that's getting your tax dollars and being funded by way of grants to lie to you. Now, again, I don't believe anything, Perry Wilder, that a nonprofit is saying if you're being funded, whether you are a private, 501c3 nonprofit, if you're being funded, then you are being controlled. Let's take that a step further. I told you a while back, the NAACP, I used to be a part of it for years as a pastor. Through the AME Church, we had a lifetime membership under the late Reverend Dr. H. Ralph Jackson on the north and the south side of Memphis. And we represented well when it came to the structure of the NAACP. We was there. Our churches was there. And we paid those dues to be a lifetime member of the NAACP. But as the true leaders of Memphis began to go home and God called them in, the true lack of leadership began to fall, whether with the preachers, whether with the representatives in this community. Old heads are gone. There's a few of us still left around and understand what true leadership is all about. But they're gone now. So when I had a situation when I was on the radio and the lady called in and I told you about this, that she wanted to sue FedEx, but she went to the NAACP for legal help, that they had fired her and discriminated against her. And the leadership back then, when she came on the show and told me that the leadership of the NAACP said to her, we cannot sue FedEx because they are a heavy sponsor at that time of our Freedom Fund dinner. And I said, what? What did you say? And she told me again on these airwaves that she was told by the NAACP, the local branch, that we cannot help you because FedEx is one of our main supporters of the Freedom Fund dinner. Now, what is the Freedom Fund dinner, or they call it luncheon now? What is their purpose and what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to help a person who feels like they have been discriminated against whatever business or whatever faction it is. But yet, when this young lady told them, and they said, we cannot support you or defend you against FedEx because they are sponsoring the Freedom Fund dinner. And I said it on the NAACP level, I said that on the Urban League level. I said on the Rainbow Push level. If you are being sponsored by the people who are taking advantage of the people, then you can't represent the people. So therefore, I don't have an NAACP card anymore. Probably never will. Because the leadership in the NAACP, the leadership in all of these other organizations that I just called, are not going to get better because the leadership is weak, in my opinion. They're cowards, in my opinion. What has any of those individuals or those organizations have done for you lately in any situation? And how many of you have thought to go to any of those organizations in your time of need? Why? Because when the powers that be, who doing all of the discrimination, are doing all the hatred, you can't go to those organizations because those organizations have been bought and paid for by way of funding. Now let's back up a minute. Now, if the organization is doing that, what do you think about your representative who take the same funding by way of election contribution? Do you think that they're going to truly represent you or they can represent you when you just took the money from the same people that fund the NAACP, the Urban League, the Rainbow Push, and all of those organizations? Do you think you're going to get the best from those organizations when they are being funded? And you're going to get the leadership from the cowards that run that organization or those organizations? No, sir. No, ma'am. You will not get that because they've been bought and paid for. And therefore, in my opinion, makes them cowards. It take a real man, take a real woman to stand up and say, hey, Governor Lee, I don't believe in what you're saying. Our numbers are better than yours. Well, Governor Lee probably would have said to you, if your numbers was better, why are we here doing what we're doing? And you know, it's almost like an unappreciative child. When you educate him and you send him or her to college and she becomes successful, and then she says, or he says, I did this all by myself. Well, first of all, you got to understand something. You may have studied for the test and passed the test, but you didn't do it by yourself. In other words, you couldn't sit in Harvard or Yale or Duke or any other major university or college, HBCUs, if it had not been for mama and daddy being able to put you in that seat, but yet you're going to disrespect the people who put you in that seat. And that's what we have with representatives and individuals who are supposed to be our leaders, but they're cowards because their hands are tied. 501c3 nonprofits, they got to do what they say to go along with the people who gave them the grants. 100,000, 200,000, a million. Do you think you're going to go against the people who just gave your organization $1 million in 901? We stand with the chief of police and we stand with Mayor Paul Young. Well, I ask you, 901, would somebody ask them, did you get any money from the local government in any shape, form, or fashion? Did you get any money? And if they told you or tell you, yeah, we got some funding, well, I ain't got time to listen to you because you got to do what you got to do, and that is to be on the side of the people who are lying to you. And they are lying to you because the people came up today in their face. and call them a liar. Thank God for Governor Lee. I thank God for the federal government who's coming in here and making Memphis safe. They're doing it whether you want to agree with it or not. And if you don't agree with it and you see it, then something is wrong with you. Those individuals who line up and get in a group and tell you this is what happened and you fall for it. But this is your chance. I'm going to say it again. This is your final and last chance to get the political system in Memphis, Tennessee right. You got the opportunity. We have the problem with the school board, and you are up in arms about that. You got the problem with them dismissing Dr. Marie Fagan, who wanted to do something and was doing something. They were cutting their bread and butter when she looked out and saw some of these grants that are being given, these contracts that are being given. And you got a department at the school board that's supposed to be public relation, and you can't become effective enough that you got to hire two different PR firms. Well, she saw through that. You paying $11 million to an individual who's supposed to be tutoring and helping our children, and children came back past the basic skill test. She saw through that. And then JB Smiley, and you know the story, that he went to her and told her basically, you don't do nothing unless you come by me. I'm the chairman. Who do you think you are, you peanut head Negro? You ain't worth what the little bird left on the limb. And guess what? I'm seeing a poll today that Dr. Marie Fagan is high in the poll. They got J.B. Smiley high in the poll. These individuals have been playing politics with you forever. Every time. Look at J.B. Smiley, chairman. He argued with the fact that one of the council members didn't want to sign off on letting AI come in, but hey, sound like a bought and paid Negro to me, in my opinion. These folks mean us no good. And the people who trying to do some good, those individuals rally around them and make sure they get elected because they are part of the good old system. The good old boy network that's doing absolutely nothing for you. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Let us turn this city around for the good. Let us get these lazy individuals who would talk against giving the fire department an increase. Talk against giving them a $40,000 a year salary. I think that's starting off. Those individuals talk against doing the right thing by the police department, and we losing again these good and qualified individuals that's going to other cities to become law enforcement officers because they're getting a $20,000 plus package to come. They're starting off with 72,000. But our police chief and the city and the leadership here are talking about we're gonna give you 15,000. And then when you have 3 years, you get 72,000. Which one would you take? A bird in the hand, as grandmother used to say, is better than two in the bush. When they get a bird in the hand, they start them off with a package of 20-something thousand plus as a bonus. And when they start, they immediately get 72,000 a year in other cities. Now you tell me, when people talk about, well, we can't compare ourselves to other cities because they have a larger population, but you, as the leader of this city, which is a smaller population, you still raising our taxes like we Dallas, like we California. To do what? These worth, in your opinion, wild projects, which those projects are not worth anything. It's an ego tripping of the cowards that you got in place. Call it like it is. Say what it is. And you have to do that. You have to own up to the failure of the leadership in this community. And I said, listen, I asked any of you, if you think I'm not right in what I'm saying about you, the doors to this studio, to this program is open to you. Call me and let's debate. Again, Paul Young, you came over here when you was running for office, but you won't come back now because I have a whole list of things that you have failed at, and you're still failing, but you're still buying into all those organizations that's standing up that you got your check. Welcome to the club of being bought and paid for, and welcome to the club of 30 pieces of silver. I'm Jenny Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. The number is 901-288-5779. Feel free. We can agree to disagree. Hey, that's fine. Have no problem with you. Give you the opportunity to tell me why you think crime is down before the National Guards and the federal government came in. You're saying that the numbers that they are putting up are wrong. And let me say this to you. An arrest is arrest. Like they said, a sin is a sin. When you get through, it's still a sin. Whether it's a big sin or a small sin, it's still a sin. An arrest is an arrest, whether it's a misdemeanor or whether it's a felony. It is an arrest. An arrest is an arrest, whether you illegal, it's an arrest. Whether you speeding and you get arrested for speeding or drag racing, that's an arrest. And it counts. Some of you argue that all of these are not felony arrests. Well, who cares? It's an arrest. You're speaking to someone who's been in law enforcement for over 50 years in one shape, form, or fashion. You know the history from military police and the Marine Corps, from the sheriff deputy for over 20 years with the sheriff department, and 28 years as a probation officer in law enforcement. And I say to you, it doesn't matter if it is a misdemeanor or felony. An arrest is arrest. What did they call it? A misdemeanor arrest? That word is again. A felony arrest? That word is again. If you've been charged and you got a booking number or you will receive a booking number, you've been arrested. So let's get that out the way. Understand the madness that these people go around and put on you and tell you, hey, they're not arresting anybody. Yes, they are. All 3,000 of those people, for whatever, whether it was a misdemeanor or felony, they have been arrested. They are in the court system. They're going to have to go through the courts with a court date. They're going to get reset. They're going to have to come back with a report on whether they hired an attorney or not. That's still something they're going to have to do. Now, if it's a misdemeanor and you pay your fine and court costs and you walk away, you still was arrested. That's the bottom line. And I laughed if I sit here and watch the news conference and what they were saying about Memphis, Tennessee, and how other people are coming and asking for help in their city. Ladies and gentlemen, don't allow people to tell you a lie and you accept it as the truth. Because this is what we're doing here. We are telling the truth and shaming the devil. And I give forewarning, fair warnings to those individuals who want to talk against what we are saying. And I say to you, come and talk to us. Come and debate the issue if you would like to. Feel free to do it. I'm Jenny Bernard, and you're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. You're out there, and I really do appreciate you. Let me ask you this again. I want you to subscribe, if you will, please, sir, please, ma'am, to this program. At the bottom of this, you can see a subscribe. Hit that button and subscribe to us. And then go over to what we say, MemphisRealTalk.com. MemphisRealTalk.com. That is the website. I think you will be impressed with the website, what we're going to do and what we're going to bring to you. We're working on live feeds from being able to go live downtown when we have a meeting, and you can get it right here. We will have breaking news coming in. We will build this thing from other genres, from sports. We're getting ready to do that. But go over there at the bottom, you'll see a donation page. Go through it from one button all the way to the end, and you'll see it. And to all of the politicians who will be out campaigning and want your message and your voice to be heard, we have a campaign button. You can put your video and your campaign on there. Give me a call, 901-288-5779, if you want to get your message out. And we allow you to put your message. We allow you to come in and talk to the people. We're giving you that opportunity. Go to MemphisRealTalk.com. Go over and you will see where Candidate Hubbard is on there with his commercial. He's running for sheriff. Very impressive young man. Quite sure he's more impressive than the sheriff we got now and the chief deputy who wants to be sheriff. Listen to his video on Facebook and as well as MemphisRealTalk.com. We just building it up for you. If you don't take advantage of it, that's on you. But we still gonna do what we do, and that is present the information to you to make a difference in our community. This is your last chance. This is your last chance. You won't have this chance for 20 or 30 years if you don't take advantage of this chance come next year in 26. And to all of the people who feel less than everybody else, but you have the power to vote. If you're out here struggling and everybody else is getting over like a fat rat on a piece of cheese because they're in the know and they don't know more than you know. They just got individuals supporting them. Then why don't you support yourself? Why don't you sit down at the table with your neighbors and say it's time for us to support ourselves because we're not getting the support from our representatives. So what we're going to do, we're going to hold block parties. We're going to talk door by door, neighborhood by neighborhood, and we can take control away from the power that be. And I say it all the time. The power that be does not go into a voting booth and push them buttons. I don't care how much money they put in it. They can brainwash you to make you go in there and push the button. But if you're smart and you think like my friend right here, the thinker, then you can make a difference. I want to take a few more minutes before my time is up and talk to you about some heroes that I look at and I appreciate very, very much. You know, I told you that a while back, I there was a lady who had a shop, and she had all kind of collectibles. And when I went in there, she had a Black History section right here. This was the first thing that I bought for her many years ago. And we want to talk about a little of my heroes for the next few minutes here. And I'll talk about one, may talk about two or three. This is Dr. Martin Luther King. This is a bust that I bought, I know over 20, 25 years or more. I was impressed when I saw this bust. And it is him. All the features, excuse me, and look just like him. To me, it became a something that I looked at every day when I came into my office. Sometimes I just stared at it and wondered the thing that he missed out on as a leader, leading this community. He did, along with his supporters, like my grandmother, my aunt, and others, who made a difference that Jennings Bernard is sitting here now and able to talk to you on these internet airways by way of Facebook. There's a time back you couldn't have done it. Matter of fact, you couldn't have rode the bus at a certain period of time until this man, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was a thinker, as this statue that I bought many years ago illustrates. He was a thinker. He decided that if black folks paid their money to ride a bus, and I remember my mother getting on the bus with me, dropping the money in the machine where the driver was, then had to get off the bus and go back with me to the middle of the bus and get on the back where there was crowded of people sitting there, black people, because they couldn't ride up front. And I remember looking up front and all of them positions from the middle of the bus forward was empty. Three people were sitting where other people, blacks, were back at the back of the bus, packed in like sardines in a can. And I think that's where my education came and made me who I am today. Because this man, Dr. King, decided to make a difference. I got other statues that I can bring down to you and tell you how I began to collect. And these things mean so much to me. This statue here a little history. This statue is that of the first bishop of the church that I pastored. And this is Bishop Richard Allen, who was discriminated against in St. George Church, where they were not allowed to worship or kneel at the altar. And Richard Allen, Bishop Allen, the first African American bishop in these United States of America, walked out with his friends and they started the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the first black church on record. Wasn't the Church of God in Christ, wasn't the Baptist church. It was the African Methodist Episcopal Church. His pulpit, his anvil, he was a blacksmith. He preached from there and built Mother Bethel in Philadelphia. That's who Richard Allen and who he was. I can reach back and you all know who this is. This man was George Washington Carver. This is Carver, the Peanut Man. All of these things remind me of people who were thinkers, that were thinkers and made a difference in this community. And all this one here, I love her. This is Mary Cloud Bethune, who started Bethune College. And I tell you, I can't line them all up here, but she started Bethune College because what? She was a thinker. She decided that, wait, I'm going to educate my people. And she started Bethune College down in Florida. Many of our people are educated and became thinkers in this life. And there's so many of them, so many. I'm so proud of all of these that I've got. This is the ever got his medical license in black medicine. Learned from his owner. He went on to become the first black doctor in America. These are my heroes. These are my heroes, and I have to sit them around here. So since I'm talking about it, I'm gonna talk about all of them, well, most of them, and want you to understand what it is to think. And I know you know who this is. My high school is named after him. This is Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, you know him. He was an advocate for African Americans. He was the one that got black soldiers to be able to fight and to be recognized. He was an advocate. He was a thinker. He was a thinker and a doer. The only way we gonna get out of the situation that we are in as black folks and our own people now are betraying us, lying to us, we have to become thinkers. And when we become thinkers, we gonna know better and we gonna truly do better if we do it. And every one of these things has a certificate or authenticity as it relates to knowing that it is worth something. And I got the pictures here of Nelson Mandela, a hero of mine. Malcolm X, a hero of mine. All of these individuals who are sitting here, and some more are up in my cabinet. But I just decided to take these out to just show you, oh, what a history we have as black people when we take time to think. But there are people that was against all of these people that I've named here today to you. They was against them, but they didn't let that stop them. All black people are not good people. Some sold out Dr. King. Some snitched on Mary Cloud Bethune. She was educating black folk. Some talked about Richard Allen. That we don't need to start no church. But he said, I decided I want to do it because I'm thinking ahead. Frederick Douglass. He articulated the position that black soldiers can be beneficial to our war effort. And so many black soldiers from Tuskegee Airmen and others because of leaders like George Washington Carver and others, Frederick Douglass. Ladies and gentlemen, I love my black history. I love my people. But I cannot, nor will I stand back and see cowards being not called out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you sit back and you allow this to continue to happen, that's on you, but not on my watch. I'm going to do what I have to do. And some other time I may pull some of these other heroes out and let you know who they are. But all of them are special to me. But Dr. King, he set it in motion. Marcus Garvey set it in motion. Harriet Tubman set it in motion. And I could pull more and more out to let you know where my mindset is. And I owe so much to all of these people that's covering my desk and in my cabinet behind me. You owe so much to them. To get up and start doing something to make a difference in your life, you owe it, ladies and gentlemen. You owe it to yourself. Because if you can't get it right this time, you probably won't get right. And your own people will still be taking advantage of you because you have allowed them to do so. I'm Jennings Bernard, and I really do appreciate you. As always, in the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll talk to you again on tomorrow. But always remember what I said. And I said this from the depths and the bottom of my heart, and I believe this. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. Be careful of the snake. Be careful of the snakes that are out there. There's a whole lot of them, but there's a lot of them that look like you and I. God bless you. Take care. And Brother Dunlap and others, thank you for tuning in. Brother Wilder and others, God bless you. It's time to do what we got to do. Until we do that, we're going to always be left behind. Have a good evening. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please subscribe. Go to MemphisRealTalk.com and just look at the page and tell me what you think. And if you'll be so kind, just hit the donation button, no matter how small or large, because we got a long way to go and we're going to get it done. Because I'm going to stay on the grind field. I'm going to stay on the battlefield doing what I do. Even if I have to stay on the battlefield by myself, I'm a fighter, been one all my life. Really don't matter what they say about me or what they try to do about it. I'm going to still be here fighting for you. God bless you. Take care. Until we meet again. God bless.